Ivan Katz here at Bonita Springs Disc Golf Park. I'm going to play the course. I'm going to tell you about the discs I throw. I'm going to tell you how these discs fly, explain the numbers on them, and talk all about the sport of disc golf. Let's get started. Number one at Bonita Springs. I can't really give you distances because they're not listed, but trouble trees in the middle, and really the best way to get beyond them, if you're trying to go through them, would be to look at a point far ahead in the middle and just focus on that, and you'd be surprised. You'll actually make it through. Don't ever look at a tree if you're trying not to hit a tree. Don't look at an obstacle. Just look to where you want the disc to go through the obstacle. Focus on that, and your body and your mind will oftentimes get it there and surprise you. Okay, so my Crank SS, my most stable disc, basically thrown pretty flat. This would be for the forehand flick. Hyzer. This would be anhyzer. For the right hand backhand. Hyzer. Anhyzer. And if you throw a disc with hyzer and it stays at that angle, that's considered to be a stable disc. If you throw a disc flat, stays flat, stable disc. If you throw a disc forehand flick with hyzer and it turns over, that means it's understable. So, also called flippy. DX plastic, which is what beginners use, tends to break in once you hit trees and throw it a lot. Then it tends to get more flippy. That's what that means. Turns over, understable. You can use that flight path to get a nice S pattern and get some great distance. A lot of beginners play with overstable discs, and if you're throwing right hand backhand and your disc never gets flat, it just curves off this way, that's too much disc for you. What does that mean? The speed of that disc is probably too high for you. Beginners should be throwing mid-ranges, which are usually in the 4 to 6 range for speed. That's the first number on a disc. The second number is glide, usually 4 or 5, right in that area. That's the more that air will affect it, it'll have lift and glide. You don't want your putter to have a lot of glide, in other words, because you want to be able to control it and for it to stay on its path without the wind affecting it. Third number is that turn. A negative number means understable. Positive number means it's going to be overstable. Something like, again, if you throw this way, it's going to stay that way or even turn a little bit more that way. So that's what that third number is. Stability, minus for understable, plus for overstable, something around a 0, should be about stable. Now again, I don't have the most powerful arm. My best throws are probably 285 these days, and many people can throw 400 or 500. So to me, what's stable will probably be understable to someone with more power. So don't listen to your friends. Don't throw what your friends throw. If they're better than you, don't throw what they throw. Go down in speed. Throw what works for you. Try out different discs. Try out your friends' discs. And do what I do. I just went and I bought a whole bunch of used discs at a used disc golf store. And many of those are what I'm using to throw in this video today. So I hope to show you some of those a bit later in the video. But there you have it. The last number is fade. And that is the tendency for the disc to fade off at the end. So if it's a high fade number, 3, 4, that means it's designed to fade. For the forehand flick, it maybe turn up a little and then fade off in its natural tendency. The natural tendency for fade this way is to fade off to the left for the right hand backhand. Alright, so my Crank SS thrown pretty flat and low and in control. When you throw a disc high, you tend to lose control. The air can take it and you don't throw accurately. So low in control, I looked at a point far between those trees to make sure I made it through those trees, and it went right towards the basket here, giving me approximately a 18-foot putt. Number 2 is pretty tough to make out in the distance there, but it's basically a dog leg right, and you've got a lot of trouble on the left hand side. So you got to get the disc to turn right, and you're starting from right here. So yeah, a difficult throw. Let's see what we can do. Okay, the Tempest here, thrown with a lot of hyzer to get it to turn right around this edge, and now I'm about outside the circle. Circle 2, probably about 60-65 feet. Outside of the circle is 10 meters, 33 feet, and that means that you can jump when you putt. Number 3 here at Bonita Springs is super cool. Straight down this very tight fairway, and man, it's tough. Let's see what we can do. Okay, the Discraft Express thrown with some hyzer, and it did what's called a hyzer flip. It flipped up to flat, and then it stayed straight, and then it had a little fade off at the end. Ended up over here, but out of harm's way, through the very difficult fairway here, and then only just about maybe 45-50 feet from the basket. So not a wonderful shot, but for that tough fairway, I'll take it. Okay, so there you go, wrapping up number 3. Gonna backtrack a little bit, and I threw this Tempest here with a heck of a lot of hyzer on the last dog leg right. The more hyzer you throw with, if the disc is stable or even understable, it's still gonna turn up a little but then fade back. So if you've got a dog leg right like I had there, give it a lot of hyzer. Throw it and let the disc work for you. It will fade off to the right and make that turn for you, and that's what this Tempest did beautifully. The hyzer flip that I was talking about. Throw it with some hyzer. For me, forehand flick this way, and it just straightens out. That's the flip part, and stays straight until the little fade at the end. If you're throwing right hand, backhand, well, that just means start with some hyzer here, flips up, goes straight, and then fades off. Again, if you're not getting these discs to turn up, then you probably need to throw a slower speed disc. You can play most courses with a mid-range. Check out my reviews on the Cobra, where I throw an entire course with the Cobra, and I also have a mid-range video as well. Check that out. You can throw most courses with mid-range and putter discs and play it just as well as you could in other ways. I'll talk about the color of the disc as a hint too, helpful hint. So a disc like this is going to stand out down here in Florida or on the East Coast near Washington, D.C., where I play. I have a lot of videos on Bluemont, my home course. It's a beautiful course. Check it out if you're ever in the D.C. area. It's in Arlington, Virginia. Great course. Very wooded, very tough. And so that's what I'm really used to. These big bomber courses I don't play much of, so I don't have much of an arm. But I try to make up for it with my control. And that brings me to my putter here. And I would not recommend throwing a putter like this. This is an 86 Softy. It's from the La Mirada Open, 1989, 1990. So you can't get these very easily. Go out, buy yourself whatever disc you like. There's 5 packs, 10 packs of putters, and you can practice with the same disc. That's what I recommend. However, as you see, I've been making some nice putts with this, and it's just the one I like. It's a great go-to disc. It's soft, which means sometimes you can just float it up and then it'll sink. Called an 80 sink nickname. And sometimes if you have water behind you like a hazard, that's a good disc to have on the course. A word about disc golf. I'm out here throwing multiple discs, and it's not an easy sport. You're not going to come out here and get birdies, aces, and that sort of thing. Very frequently it's tough. Some people play 10 years before they get an ace. And of course I'm throwing multiple shots here to show you certain discs and what they do. I'm not coming out here and shooting true birdies every single time, so just know that disc golf is a very difficult sport to play, and I'm producing a video here, so keep that in mind. Another couple of hints that will help you: bring a towel with you. Definitely bring a towel so you can dry off your discs. And also, write your name and your phone number on the discs. If you lose one, hopefully someone will call you back and they'll get it to you. If you're playing in a certain area, like this area, there's local Facebook groups for disc golf, Southwest Florida here, and there's a great course, Estero, just up the street. I've played that course. Check out my video of Estero, 1 through 9, and then 10 through 18, 2 different videos elsewhere on YouTube. Just Google Ivan Katz and Valkyrie. You'll see my review on Valkyrie. But again, subscribe to me here on Drivin Ivan Katz. That's the channel I use now to upload all my videos. So if you want to see what I'm uploading disc golf wise or anything wise, my car reviews, Drivin Ivan Katz on YouTube. On to the next one. Okay, this one looks quite far off in the distance. Not sure how far it is, but let's try to get there and try to get around those problem trees too. Okay, so this disc I just threw is called the King, Westside Discs, and for me it's one of my farthest throwing discs. I throw it with a lot of hyzer. It's a very flippy disc, even though it's a speed 14. It's probably too much disc for me even to throw because I don't have much of an arm. But I can get it to turn over, S out, which it did to get me around the hazards, and then straight towards the basket with the fade. So that was the perfect disc here. Again, an understable disc should turn over and then maybe curve a bit and then S fade back. And that's what this Westside Disc King does for me. Throw discs like perhaps the Beast or the Wraith or the Leopard. Those are good discs that you can turn over. And when you can turn over those discs, then you know that you're throwing the disc properly. Got me parked here right next to this basket for the easy play. Okay, this is the last hole I'm playing today, and I kind of skipped around this course. I didn't play everything, so forgive me, Bonita Springs, for not playing every single hole and skipping around a bit, but I'm not super familiar with the course, and my time is a bit limited today, but I wanted to give you a good sampling of this park. It's very nice, very picturesque, so check it out, play around, and let's see what I can do with this last one here. Trouble trees all around the basket. Thanks for watching Bonita Springs Disc Golf Park tutorial, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Check out all my other disc golf videos, disc reviews like the Valkyrie. You'll want to subscribe to me here on my Drivin Ivan Katz channel. Lots of car videos there too. Just Google any car you want to see a car review of and Drivin Ivan, and you will see it. Also check out my music videos, literal video for Chris Isaak's Wicked Game, documentaries. Just Google Ivan Katz on YouTube and you'll find lots of great content. Thanks for watching. I'm Ivan Katz.